Healing Light takes you on a journey where you'll explore the nuances of energy. You'll visit the angelic realms and study the ancient wisdom and teachings of spirituality. We want you to reach within and discover the magnificent being that you came here to be. We help shine God's divine healing light by bringing love, light, and blessings into your world. And now, here is the host of Healing Light, Terry Van Horn.
Good afternoon and welcome to Healing Light. This is Terry Van Horn. I want to thank everybody for being with me today. And I want to thank you all for all of the support that you've given me over the last several months here at OMTimes Radio. It's really been a wonderful experience. And I want to thank everybody, the listeners, as well as the team over at OMTimes for all of this and helping make this possible. For those who don't know me, I'm a spiritual mentor of such, where I'm just able to help out a lot of people with different aspects of their life. I do this through energy healing, mostly with distant healing, color, crystal, vibrational healing. I do intuitive readings and counseling. I do a lot of work with a kind of a consortium of beings called the Fifth Element, who are a lot of different beings, angels and energies and ascended masters who are helping us so that we can really create the best life possible here on this planet now. So they've been busy giving messages, and I just have to get busy and start typing everything down so I can share it with you. I am the author of several books. I have Chakras, which we're going to talk about today, with 365 Days of Blessings, which is a daily devotional. Harness the Power of the Light, which is all about psychic protection. Manifesting the Life You Desire, which is about finding that thing, that one special thing that, you're really here to do, and then help you so that you can get it accomplished. I also have The Magic of Crystals and The Mystery of Crystals. These are two books that I wrote. The first one, Magic of Crystals, is kind of like Crystals 101. And I'm in the process of creating an online video course for this one. We're going to start doing that next week. But you can find all of the books on Amazon or on my website at healinglightonline.com. You can also find me on Facebook, Healing Light, or Instagram and Twitter. So you can find me a lot of different ways, and I would love for you to join us. Now today, as I said, we're going to talk about chakras. And I've got to start out with telling you about something that happened last week. I had done a post, actually it was about the book, on Facebook. And I do have, thank goodness Facebook allows us to do this automated, so I can schedule things ahead of time. And this one was done overnight, late, or in the morning or something. So anyway, the first thing I do is get up and I go scan the page and check comments. Underneath the posting about the book on chakras, there's a lady, we'll just refer to her as Marianne, because honestly, I don't even remember her name. But she says in this post, Christians beware. Chakras are Hindu and of the devil. Be careful who you listen to. I thought I was going to die, and I had just had a big drink of tea, and I'm surprised that I didn't, kind of like spew it all over the keyboard, because I could not believe that someone thought this. It really, really surprised me. I checked to see if maybe she happened to be, like this 90-year-old lady, and she's not. Actually, she's probably, in her, I don't know, maybe early, mid-50s. And I thought, wow, it's really okay to be religious and still learn things. There's nothing wrong with that whole concept. You can learn some things and still follow your religion or your church. So I thought, in case we have anybody else, like Marianne here, who thinks that chakras are, evil and bad, I want to tell you a little bit about chakras and about a time when I was in the 9th grade when I had a major, major epiphany. I was in science class, which I love, by the way, science nerd. And it was, amazing because what happened is that I was listening to science, and my teacher was telling us that everything was made up of protons, electrons, and neutrons. And they were spinning around, and, the molecules and everything were all just bouncing around, and that nothing was solid. This was an epiphany for me, okay? I mean, honestly, I grew up reading the encyclopedia for fun, but this concept, it just clicked all of a sudden. I was like, wow, nothing is solid. Everything is actually in a state of movement, and it's energy, and it's all these little, molecules are gunked together to create everything that we have here. Whether it's my desk, my chair, my house, the car, whatever it is. They're all stuck together, but they're all in constant motion. And when something is in constant motion, it's created of energy. Then a little bit later on, we were getting to the biology aspect of it. And we were talking about cells and how cells are actually, living little, I don't know what to call them. I'll just call them little beings, okay? These little cells can live on their own in the right conditions. And if given the right conditions, we can multiply and create organs. They do that in labs all the time, or they create our own skin for skin grafts for burn victims. So our cells are constantly growing. They are living, whether they're attached to us or not. Now, eventually they do die unless they're being cared for, but still, they are all living beings that are, again, kind of gunked together. They're stuck together, and they create our body and everything that's within our body. So, our body is also a living energy being. So now you've got the fact that nothing that we have is really truly solid because it's all molecules and, atoms and everything moving together so quickly. And the human body is basically the same way. That's, that was a major epiphany. That was a major time of enlightenment for me that really kind of started all of this other journey. Now, when you think about the chakras, that terrible concept that came from the Hindus, this was something that, I learned a little bit about. But there was another time of an epiphany. I don't remember what book because I was used to read everything I could find on all aspects of spirituality. But I saw a layout of the human body with the nerves and glands. Okay. Didn't really have like a whole lot more, but it was mostly just that. And what I saw was that with this, in the areas where we have all of the chakras, or the areas in the human body where is the greatest concentration of the nerves. So, what's that telling you? Those energy centers are in the areas of our body where anatomically we have the most energy. That's not a coincidence. That's something that's real. It doesn't matter who actually came up with the concept of chakras or used that word, because it is something that's valid. You can call it nerve center balls. You can call it whatever you want to. But it is the major areas in your body where you have all of your nerves. And if you can go and Google, a layout of a human with their major nerve centers, and you'll see that it all hits right about where the chakras are. So it lets us know that even though humanity and different cultures have really worked with chakras and considered them as energy centers for, thousands of years, as far back as like 2000 BC, you can find information in ancient texts, mostly Hindu, with the Vedas and the Yoga Sutras. And the word chakra is actually a word from the Sanskrit, and it means wheel or vortex. So this is a wheel or a vortex of energy within your body that is in those areas of the nerves. So that is pretty amazing. And it's a great way to really see these things and understand what's going on. Now, we know that our chakras really are legitimate. And so what we're going to do is whenever we get back from break, we're going to talk about them a little bit more and what they can do for us. So we'll be back in just a minute.
You're listening to OTR-FM, part of the IOM radio network.
Have you ever wondered how to change your love paradigm? The secret key is finding a love partnership, not just a regular connection. How do you find these? Through conscious relationships. Ascending Hearts Dating is a dating site for people like you that believes in second chances and a different type of spiritual connection. Try Ascending Hearts for free today at ascendinghearts.com and change your love paradigm. Ascending Hearts, the premier dating community for the spiritually awake. Join Elliot Jolish, the business therapist, each Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern for the Elliot Jolish Hour, as he interviews business experts on your behalf. And you're invited to email your business questions to questions@ecjgroup.com for answers, live, on air every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern on the Elliot Jolish Hour.
Hi, this is Sylvia Henderson, intuitive life coach and energy healer. Are you ready to elevate and rise way above your normal? Be sure to listen to my show, Intuitive Transformations, on OMTimes Radio, Sunday evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern. Get the inspiration you need to transform your life.
Being a radio host on IOM FM allows you to build your show on a rich platform with the power of the internet to fulfill your outreach goals and connect with a very specialized and global online audience, unlimited by time and distance. OMTimes Radio will provide you with web relevance, a recognizable conscious brand, and with the standard of excellence that has accompanied every single OMTimes endeavor. Host your show with OMTimes Radio Network.
You're listening to OTR-FM, part of the IOM radio network.
This is Terry Van Horn. You're listening to Healing Light, and today we're talking about the chakras. Now, when you think about it, the human body is such a miracle. You think about it and say, yes, it's a miracle, but when I was waiting for my grandson to be born, and then I got to hold him for the first time, it's like, it is so amazing how everything came together. The DNA, the cells, the bones, the organs, the nerves, the glands, everything fit in this tiny little person. And it's all functioning, it's all working, and it's all so amazing. You know, there's so much to creating a functioning human body, along with the energetic body, because we know that it is made of energy as well, that, you know, it's amazing to me personally that any of us come out right. You know, I mean, there's so many possibilities and so many ways of something going wrong. But yet, for the most part, each one of us does come out pretty much perfect. And we all come out divinely perfect. You know, because we're coming here with the correct body that we need for our divine plan. But you know, once we're born, once we get a little bit older, things kind of get shifted around. You know, we get blockages in our energy alignments. You know, things get a little off. And if they're not corrected, disease and other things start happening in our lives. But you see, the great thing is that we can create a life that is very powerful and very strong, and we can remove those blockages in our body. Now, you know, think about it. I love to have my garden and hang out and do things out there. But, you know, you can create your life pretty much the way I do my garden. You know, you have to clear out the weeds. You've got to get that soil ready. You know, do the seeds or the plants that you need, and then you take care of them. And you continue weeding and watering. And, you know, in my case, I fertilize by using Epsom salt and magnesium. And, you know, I throw in a few crystals and ta-da, my herbs go crazy every year, and I have enough for, you know, a zillion people. But you see, I spent the time and the energy and the focus on it to create this garden, this sanctuary that is filled with butterflies and honeybees all year round. So think about that. We need to do that for ourselves. Now, you know, when we think about chakras, most people are thinking about the 7 main ones that you've been hearing about for so long. You know, the root chakra, the sacral, the solar plexus, the heart, the throat, the brow, and the crown. But actually, we have a lot more than that. We've got the advanced spiritual chakras as well. Now, what I'm going to talk about today really are the basic ones and give you a little bit more information and insight into them. And then at another time, we'll talk about the advanced ones. But you know, they're all energetically connected. So if one gets blocked or gets out of alignment, it's going to mess up the others. It can mess them up on a physical, an emotional, or even a mental or spiritual way. So we have to, or we should, do the best that we can to keep everything aligned. Now, there are a couple ways you can do that. One is that you can isolate yourself in a room and never have contact with the outside world. And yes, your chakras will probably stay just fine. Or you can work on them and sometimes even get somebody else to help you work on them. Because, you know, if we don't address those blockages and we don't take care of things, then all of a sudden a major disease will just pop up out of the blue, or at least it appears that way. And then we're like, I don't know how this happened. Well, it happened because you didn't take care of everything. You know, we need an owner's manual. It would be really nice to have that and help us along. And so what we need to do is consider our chakras as the owner's manual. Now, I know that you've heard the saying 1,000,000 times, if not more, that we are spiritual beings living in a physical and human body. But you see, the body that we live in, the one with the aches and the pains, the one that we can see in the mirror, that's usually the one that we're focusing on. But we have basically three bodies. We have the mental, the emotional, and the spiritual body. And that's what we need to do. Even though we can't see them, or, some of us can, some can't, but we do need to take care of them because they exist just as much as that body in the mirror does. And we need to help take care of them as much as possible on a daily basis. So we need to see our chakras really as a beautiful and divine field of energy all the way around us. And the energy of the chakras come out to form our aura and can form the protection around us. Now, every chakra has a color that it is associated with, as well as a vibrational frequency and sound. And this past weekend, I got to do a fair with a very good friend of mine who does beautiful sound healing with flutes and didgeridoos. It was fantastic. And everybody was getting a healing session whenever he was playing the digis, for sure. But you see, when we do this and we work on the chakras to help get them balanced, we're going to feel better. If, we do have an illness or something that's going wrong, balancing the energy field is going to help. Okay, it will help your body so that it can take steps to heal itself. And I am not saying that this can be or should be a replacement for medical care. I will always suggest that you do it in combination because I really believe in a combination. Sometimes you just got to have both. Now, when our chakras are unbalanced, they're out of whack, then we start having some issues. And we have physical symptoms, we'll get those diseases, or we just get grumpy. So we need to work on that. Now, a lot of times you can go and have everything balanced and all of your energy just wonderful, and then something happens and then you kind of get things skewed again. And that's okay. If you are used to keeping your chakras balanced, then they will pop back into place. Kind of like a rubber band. It has its shape. Then you stretch it out to put it on something, and then it pops back into place. That's the way we would like for your body and your chakras to be. So, we need to work on getting them strong and developing them so that they can start popping back into place after everything is said and done. Now, as I said before, the chakras, actually that word is a translation for the word vortex, which is an energy center. And so as we spin the chakras energetically, what they can do is just throw out the blockages and negativity and help them so that they feel much more open. Sometimes our energy fields are nothing but just a big fat sponge absorbing all the negativity around us. And so we need to help kind of wring that sponge out a little bit and get rid of that darkness or those blockages or the negativity. Now, if our chakras stay open too much, then we're feeling and sensing too much, and then we're just an emotional basket case. So we really do need to work to get them just kind of balanced, get rid of the blockages and the negativity, help them flow so that everything is working and functioning as it should. And then we can actually be a balanced person. Now, I do want to say that, balancing isn't going to be an instant cure. It's not going to immediately solve whatever problems that you have. It took you a while to have that problem. It's going to take you a while to get rid of the problem. But it does put you on a course so that you can start healing. That's what's important. When we have these imbalances, they totally distort our perception. They can help change our mood. They can, really put us in a depression. And they can really prevent us from experiencing and having a great life because we are so starved for this energy coming through us that we just can't get out there and live and have fun. But you can do this yourself. I love doing healing sessions. I think it's wonderful. It's a wonderful way to share, give back, and, to help people who are actually having some major issues. But I always try to do some things to help my clients so that they can do this themselves. Because to me, that's more important, to share the knowledge with everybody. So we're going to start with the root chakra. That one's at the base of the spine, like by your tailbone. And that root chakra is all about survival. It helps to support us with strength, determination, and everything that nurtures us. And it is our foundation. It's kind of like our concrete slab. If it's not solid, then we're going to have some problems as we build up. So that is the root chakra. Now the color for it is a bright, vibrant red. So whenever you're visualizing this chakra, visualize it as being that amazing bright red color. It actually may not be, it can be a lot of different shades, but we want it to be that bright red. That's what we're looking for. And the root chakra is also our connection to the earth. So what we need to do to be grounded is to expand the energy from that root chakra deep down into the earth so that we can be anchored to move forward. When we get back, we'll talk about the rest of the chakras.
This is OTR FM, part of the IOM radio network.
Are you trying to get from point A to point B and need a little advice? Connect with the counselors at OMTimes Advisors. Whether you're looking for a life coach or a spiritual intuitive, the advisors participating at advisors.omtimes.com were carefully chosen based on their gifts, skills, and professionalism. OMTimes Advisors, connecting you with the best advisors in the business.
Do you want to be a better communicator? Do you want to better connect with the important people in your life? Do you want to enrich your relationships? If so, join me, Matthew Cooper, on the Positive Control System Show every Wednesday evening at 11 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time on OMTimes Radio. I'll meet you there.
Hi, this is Angela Levesque, host of Entanglement Radio. Join me Wednesdays at 12 p.m. Eastern for inspiring conversations with visionaries in spiritual science and conscious healing. Entanglement Radio, Wednesdays at 12 p.m. Eastern. Transcendent talk for the conscious mind.
Host your show on IOM FM, the radio network of OMTimes Media, one of the more recognized brand names in the conscious community, and is backed by the extensive marketing reach of OMTimes. Hosting a show on IOM FM immediately connects you with our extensive dedicated community.
You're listening to OTR FM, part of the IOM radio network.
About the root chakra as being like the roots of a tree, because the roots of a tree are necessary to provide it with life and strength and everything that it needs to nurture and grow. That's the way our root chakra is for us, because if it's not strong and it doesn't provide us with that wonderful solid foundation, then we're not going to be able to expand our own personal growth. Now, the root chakra for us represents the basic necessities of life. It's all about survival, a place to live, food to eat, water to drink, everything. If we don't have the right food, the good water, protection from the elements, all these kind of things, then we're not physically going to be strong enough to survive. So these are some of the things that are found, some of the emotions and feelings with the root chakra. It's really all about basic primal survival. So if you're worried about things, particularly in those areas, you're probably going to have a little bit of an issue and blockages there. Now, once you create a solid foundation with that chakra, things are going to improve dramatically. Now, when the root chakra is out of balance, and you can feel it, okay? You're going to feel, if there's like too much energy, you're going to feel agitated or anger or even inflammation, and mostly in the lower back. Now, you're also going to feel, if there's like not enough, you're going to feel unloved, or you're going to feel like you're just not getting adequately supported. And even though this chakra is down in, the bottom of your tailbone, you can still start having headaches because you don't feel supported. You can have swollen joints, arthritis, all sorts of things that are based on inflammation. So, look at it and it'll make a difference. You will see the changes in your body. You will feel very different once you start working with this. Now, the root chakra now, I want you to know that the explanations of the chakras are the same for men and women. So there's really not a difference between the two. But, let me give you some of the symptoms for a root chakra that's closed. You'll have chronic lower back pain or even problems with sciatica. There are varicose veins, water retention. You're going to have either constipation or diarrhea. Either way, not good. Fertility problems, immune disorders, inflammation like we talked about, feelings of insecurity or phobias. You're going to have depression or probably even anxiety or panic attacks. And there's going to be weakness, procrastination, and or laziness. So if you or somebody who kind of deals with some of those issues, that is because that root chakra is not open and flowing. You really do need to be grounded and focused. And I'll tell you at the end how we can do that. So let's jump over to the sacral chakra. That's the next one up, and it's actually halfway between your pubic bone and your belly button. Okay, now this one is bright orange, and it is really our creative life force. Now, it's going to stimulate creativity, desire, sexual emotion, and sexuality. But what it does is it helps to stimulate that creative life force that's needed for us to exist here in the physical world. Now, it's about fertility, but also abundance. Doesn't have to be a whole passel of babies. It can be abundance in a lot of other ways too. But see, we have that fire and energy and passion of the root chakra, and then it moves up into the sacral. Also, the first three chakras pertain to the body, the physical body. So the sacral is that second one. Now, when it's balanced, you're going to feel optimistic, you're going to feel creative, you're going to be friendly, you're going to have a sense of belonging, you're going to be able to follow your intuition. But if that one is out of balance, then things aren't going to be nearly as good. You're going to start having some problems. You'll have, again, that lower back pain because that always hits with, these two lower chakras. You're going to have muscle spasms in the back. You can have, a lot of cramping spasms in about the mid back. And again, with the sciatica. Women are going to have problems in the gynecological area. They're going to have problems with the uterus, ovaries, all of that. Men are going to have problems in that area as well with reproductive systems. There are going to be some fertility issues, problems conceiving. You're also going to have some intestinal, spleen, or gallbladder disorders and problems because, see, those are the organs right in that area. You can have kidney and urinary tract infections. You can have a lack of confidence, lack of creativity. This is a good one that always bites us, is the unbalanced and buried emotions. Also, with the sacral chakra, you can have problems with eating disorders, whether it's anorexia or bulimia. Either one, it's not going to work. And you're going to have negativity in, really high doses. You're going to think very negative about yourself, your life, and probably everything else. So that's what's going to happen with the sacral chakra. Now, in the book, I've got all sorts of stuff that you can do and use and work with for each of these chakras, whether it's meditations or crystals, affirmations, oils, vibration, the whole thing. So I do have lots of solutions for that to help you to get all of these balanced. Now, another thing is that, with this chakra, it's really our main focus is about emotions and intimacy. So if someone is just like overdoing it in those areas, it's probably open too much. If they're underdoing it, then it's probably not open much. Got a lot of blockages. Now, the third one is the solar plexus. And this one is, right in the middle of the body, pretty much at the belly button. Now, the solar plexus is exactly what it sounds like. It is the center of our personal power. It's a beautiful golden yellow, just like the sun. And it's about ambition and desire, emotion. It's that space that helps you so that you can stand in your own power and you can be magnificent. Now, if you're kind of lacking in some of those areas, might have a few blockages in the solar plexus. It's a great way to really draw in that energy so that even if you're like outside in the sun, you can just visualize it beaming into this part of your body. And that'll help you with self-confidence, emotions, everything in this area. But it's really about acknowledging and caring about ourselves and expanding on that in a lot of different ways. Now, you've had that gut feeling when something's happening. Well, that is the solar plexus. And that's also your intuition telling you there's some issues and you need to really look at things. So when you get that gut feeling, acknowledge it for what it is. It is your solar plexus and it is helping you. Now, if the solar plexus is blocked, you're going to deal with a lack of concentration, really into depression. You may even have some problems breathing. You're going to be overly judgmental and demanding, overly intellectual. So you're really going to just try to impress everybody with your brilliance because you have a lack of self-confidence. You're also going to be having some problems with your memory. Might even be so low on energy that you'll even fall asleep during the day. And then, of course, at night, insomnia. You're going to have some digestive disorders because, that's right where the intestines are, and you're probably going to have some stress-related skin conditions, like rashes, dryness, things like that. Now, this is the last of the physical body chakras. Okay, now we come to the heart chakra. And the heart chakra is, in the middle of your chest, surprisingly, right next to your heart. Now, the heart chakra is your transition one. Okay, we had the first three about the body. The last three are about the spirit. That heart is the transition, because you have to go through the heart to get to spirit. Now, the true essence of love is in our heart chakra, because it's all about love and compassion. Now, the heart chakra is really a beautiful, brilliant, spectacular green. Now, right above the heart chakra is what we call the high heart. And that one is a beautiful rose color. So a lot of times you're going to get one color or the other, and sometimes both, when people are visualizing the heart chakra or even talking about it. But the heart chakra relates not only to our personal connection with ourselves, but our connection to everyone and everything around us. It helps us with spirituality in the sense that we are all connected. We are all one through love. And this chakra is actually the deepest point within us. It's where that outside world of the body meets the inner being of spirit. So it helps us to connect to ourselves, others, the environment, and the energy of the universe. Now, when we get back, we'll talk a little bit more about this one, and then we'll talk about the last three chakras. So we'll be back in just a moment.
This is OTR FM, part of the IOM radio network.
As difficult as it is to believe, there are places in Africa where human traffickers sell albino children and their body parts for use in magic rituals. Humanity Healing International is actively working in Uganda to change this paradigm. The Albino Rescue Project finds albino children who are at risk and places them in safe schools and environments where they can learn and grow free from fear. To learn more or to sponsor a child, visit humanityhealing.org. Humanity Healing is where your heart is.
This is Terry Van Horn, and I want to invite you to join me for my weekly radio show, Healing Light, on OMTimes Radio, every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. On Healing Light, we want to bring love, light, and blessings into your world. You can find out more about us at www.healinglightonline.com. Blessings.
Join Elliot Jolish, the business therapist, each Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern for the Elliot Jolish Hour, as he interviews business experts on your behalf. And you're invited to email your business questions to questions@ecjgroup.com for answers, live, on air every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern on the Elliot Jolish Hour. Host your show on IOM FM, the radio network of OMTimes Media, one of the more recognized brand names in the conscious community, and is backed by the extensive marketing reach of OMTimes. Hosting a show on IOM FM immediately connects you with our extensive dedicated community.
You're listening to OTR FM, part of the IOM radio network.
This is Terry Van Horn, and tonight we are talking about the chakras, and we were talking about the heart chakra. Now, what happens when that heart chakra is blocked? Well, you start getting some emotional confusion, There's like emotions going on, but you don't know how to handle them. There's a fear of abandonment. You can be really, really critical of yourself and others, very demanding and possessive. And, overall, you're just acting like so unloving and uncaring, narrow-minded that you're just destroying relationships right and left. Not surprisingly, you can end up with heart disease, chest, lung, and respiratory disorders. And you'll even start aging much more quickly. Now, another thing about the heart chakra is that if it is closed or blocked off, you're going to have a whole bunch of symptoms that don't even make any sense. They're going to be like really confusing, but it all will relate to that one thing. It's strange how that works. But anyway, we're not going to worry about that because we know that your hearts are open and flowing beautifully. Now, the throat chakra is located right in the middle of your throat. And it's a band of energy that really goes all the way around your neck and your ears. Now, it is the center of communication and creative expression. So what this does is it enhances verbal communication, but it also enhances your communication with your angels and your guides. It helps to, activate those ears so that you can hear messages from them and so that you can connect with them, in any way that you want to communicate with them. That is all from your throat chakra. I know people always think that one's the brow, but really it's the throat chakra that does that, because that throat chakra allows us to hear and receive information from God, our higher self, the angels, spirit guides, loved ones that have crossed over, you name it, we hear it through the throat chakra. So it's not just about somebody who's a public speaker or a singer or anything like that. Because, we all speak. We all need to speak with kind and loving words. And we all need to listen, not just to spirit, but, to each other so that we can get some better understanding here. It makes such a huge difference. And our thyroid is right next to this throat chakra. So we're getting a lot of stuff in this particular area. So what happens if it's closed down? You can have bizarre skin rashes. You can have heart attacks. Not good. You can have a weak or a bad back. You can have issues with honesty, because you just can't quite get that truth and that honesty out. You can be afraid of speaking your mind, problems with concentration again. This is also an area where you can have issues with attention deficit disorder, being totally unfocused and scattered. Also, if you just feel uncomfortable, kind of like some unease and nervousness and anxiety, but you don't know what it is, that can be one of the issues of the throat chakra. But it's really about expressing yourself. Now let's talk about the brow chakra. This is the one that everybody's always wanting to focus on, the third eye. Now it is the center of intuition and intellect, personal magnetism, and light. When we go deep within our consciousness, that's where all knowledge and wisdom resides. You have gained the knowledge and wisdom from every single one of your lifetimes. You don't remember it all, but sometimes you'll just pick up something and, do something. And then you look at yourself going how on earth did I do that? Well, some of that knowledge just kind of leaked out. Through meditation, you can really open this chakra. Now, it's considered to be like a deep indigo blue. Usually when I see it, it's more of a deep amethyst. But, whatever works for you, they both hold the same high vibrational frequency. So if you want to go with that dark blue or indigo or purple, that works. Amethyst is a great stone for the third eye. So, it works really well with that. Now, obviously, this is helping you connect with spirit. Okay, so, this is the center also for clairvoyance because it is around your eyes, and clairvoyance is all about, it means clear vision. Now, that doesn't mean that if you can't, you don't see things, doesn't mean that you don't have intuition. Okay? Because we have intuition in a lot of different ways, but it all pretty much comes from that brow chakra, the third eye. If you have issues and blockages with it, you can have mental illness. You can have a bad case of egomania because you're letting your, ego be in charge rather than your spiritual mind. You can have headaches and migraines. I blocked my third eye as a child when I was about 6 years old because I kept being told that it was wrong and bad and I was making stuff up and lying. So I blocked it. And the result was that starting at about age 7 until age 45, I woke up every single day with a migraine full force. Now, once I started getting back into my intuitive abilities and accepting it and working with it, migraines went away. Now, you can have personality disorders. You can have issues with sinuses and allergies, problems with your eyes, learning disabilities. Again, negative thoughts kind of raise their, ugly head again. And you can kind of have a lack of ambition. But opening the third eye is great and wonderful. And, you're going to be really happy whenever you do this because you can connect on a different level. Best way to do it really is prayer and meditation. Now, the crown. This is at the very top of your head, and it is the center of spirituality, enlightenment, and, your dynamic thought. Now, this is, you can find this at the place of your head where you'd be wearing that crown or that tiara. And this energy is really just expansive. It just connects us with the heavens and with spirit. It also connects us with all the lower chakras and the higher spiritual chakras. It is actually the crown for us. And I visualize it as, like a beautiful halo. Whenever you see all these, Renaissance paintings that, they have halos around people, you can see it as that. Now, some people see it with a little bit of violet in it. Some see, with white light. Of course, I see it with white light with lots of sparkles because I think it's prettier that way. But this is your connection with your higher self. Now, everybody's crown chakra is open because if it wasn't, then you really wouldn't be able to be alive. You'd be kind of like walking around like a zombie. But we still can work with it because the more we connect with spirit, then the better off we're going to be. But if it is closed up some and blocked, you're going to have depression, migraines, some mental imbalance or mood swings, nervous system disorders, skin conditions, dementia, and a whole lot of vanity. Now, there are ways to work with these chakras that are really very, very easy. And all you have to do is visualize your root chakra as roots coming down out of your feet, going through all the layers of the earth, and finally getting to the center of the earth, and you wrap those roots around that big, giant, brilliant crystal that's in the middle of the earth. Now, when you do that, you have anchored yourself in the energy of the earth. And you receive that energy going up those roots and up through every single one of your chakras, out the crown chakra, and up into the heavens. And then that one, the heavens and the energy back down through you and into the earth. If you don't have that solid anchoring and grounding with the earth, then you're not going to do as well when you're working with the higher chakras. You need to be centered and grounded. You don't need to be goofy and flighty and totally absent-minded. You know, we got to be a balance. But if you're interested in more about the chakras, you can find my book on Amazon, and it's easy. It's called Chakras. And it will give you a lot of tips and a lot of information as to how to work with each one of these chakras. You know, food, colors, everything, sound, you name it. And that'll help you so that you can open them up and get them flowing, you know, beautifully. And when you do that, you're a new person. Absolutely wonderful. So, you know, we're already out of time, but I will do another program where we talk about the advanced spiritual chakras and what to do with them. Because, you know, we can work with the 7 major chakras all the time, but when it comes to the spiritual chakras, the rules are a little bit different. And so we'll talk about that. Thank you all for being with us. If you can't access our programs live, you can always do so in the archives. And next Wednesday, we're going to talk about angelic magic. So thank you again for being with us. I wish you much love, light, and many, many blessings. Namaste.